loves, welcome to a new style of video that I will be trying out over the next few months. I thought today I would dip my toe into the world of tutorials. They have been asked for a few times and I've been lacking a bit of confidence, to be honest, with where to start. Also there's a bit of a journey going on with this whole realism style that I do. That I'll go into detail in another video perhaps, but for now I just thought I'd show you how I draw animal eyes, and for this one I've chosen a tiger because they are stunning. So I'm just going through some of my materials at the moment, showing you what I use. Typically I use Prismacolor pencils and polychromos, but I have recently branched out into these other brands. I'm probably going to absolutely butcher the name, but it is Carandash. Please correct me if I'm wrong. I've also got some, I think there's a Derwent one in there as well. A putty rubber is an essential, and just a sharpener. Now I am on a bit of a sharpener hunt at the moment as well. I'd like a better sharpener that is more suitable for the softer pencils, because if you don't get the right one it can destroy your pencils, and that's what's been happening to me recently. So I start off by drawing basic shapes. Obviously start with a circle. And the best piece of advice I could possibly give is to break it down as much as you can with shapes and start off in the middle and then build the shapes outwards. So then I go in and use the putty rubber, and the best way that I find, especially if you're using a toned tan paper, or in this case I'm using grey, but I'm aware that it's coming across as tan tone on camera, but it was grey paper for this one. But you dot it lightly on top of the lead, and what we're doing here is just lifting a bit of the colour off, so it's gonna just make the lines that you've made really faint. When you're making the lines in the first place, make sure you go really gentle and soft, because you don't want to create indents in the pages. Not only is that not good for the finished piece, because you'll see the lines and they just don't look that pretty, but it also makes lifting the colour off a lot more difficult. So as you can see, it's really lightened the initial sketch, the base layer. It takes it off a bit and it just makes it a lot easier to blend once you've started to add colours on there. It's probably common sense, but I'll say it anyway. Always start from light to dark. I like to go in with my white pencils first, get the highlights in, get any sort of outlines in. A white pencil is also really good for getting, well, if you wanted to use white as your base colour for the base sketch, I don't think there's anything wrong with that, and it's also really easy to remove as well. I think eyes are a really good one to start off with if you are just branching out into realism, or you just want to give it a go for fun, because it's such a small area, but it really teaches you to zoom right in and pick up on all of the stunning colours that are in such a small space. So if we're looking at a tiger's eye, for example, it's not just yellow, it's not just orange, and it's not just green. It is all of those colours and more. There's brown in there, there's blue, there's black, there's a bit of red in there as well. There's so many beautiful colours. Oh, I can't believe how many colours. I didn't even realise myself when I sat down to draw this eye just how many colours there would be in there. So I had a lot of fun dipping into a lot of colours for this piece. Eyes are also a really good warm-up piece, so if you want to, this is my goal anyway, let's hope that I stick to it, but you can also use it as warm-up exercises. So in total this eye took me around between half an hour and 40 minutes to complete. Obviously if you want to keep going with it once you've got further into the drawing, then feel free, absolutely go for it. It's all good practice and will help you with your journey to realism. So as you can see as well from my pencil movements, you can see that I keep going back and forth with all of the different colours. So don't feel that you're ever finished with a colour. You might have put down what you feel is enough of a certain colour, and then you'll find yourself going back to it. And with eyes in particular, and just animals in general, the layering is super important. So layer up, like think of how many, like millions and millions of tiny hairs are surrounding an animal's skin, and how many different tones are in there. It's kind of annoying in a way because you want to pick a pencil up and just use it, and with realism you have to keep picking a pencil up and switching them all the time. But once you start to see a drawing come to life, it is so addictive. I will also say on that note as well that there are going to be certain moments within your drawing where you think this is not looking right, but just carry on and it will get there. Sometimes things, and this goes for digital art as well, but it does not look like the thing that you're intending it to be until you get sometimes close to the end of the drawing. But keep going, keep adding the layers, keep softening things as well. There is a tool, I'm not sure at which point, I do show it to you at some point, but it's a blender pencil. Now there's no pigment to it, it looks like a white pencil if you were to just, the amount of times I've mistaken it for a white pencil in my mug of pencils is ridiculous, and I pick it up and I'm like, where's the pigment for this pencil? But they're really good at blending, so you can sharpen them as well if you do happen to get some staining on the tip of it. But what I do is, this is so bad, I wipe it on my jumper or something and it just takes off the first layer, whatever colour it might have picked up on, but it is really lovely for smoothing colours together. You can get some pens as well that have got like a special sort of, I think it might even be alcohol. I've got some of those, so if you'd like to see those being used, I can save that for another video. But these are just really handy tools to help you along your way to getting a really lovely smooth blend. And you don't even need these tools if you want to try and achieve it without. These are just some little helping hands for along the way. So obviously this might not be the way that a lot of the other artists you might watch, you know, share their process, or it. I don't think there's any solid way though to do art. As long as you're happy and comfortable and you're getting the results that you're looking for, I think that's the main thing. But I do think this has helped me a lot with my own realism journey, and breaking things down. So obviously looking at a whole portrait of an animal can be really intimidating and make you think, oh my god, where do we even start? So just picking a certain element, you can even get your ruler out and make like a solid square and just follow a smaller section. If you want to practice your fur, if you want to do ears, it's on my list of things to do to practice noses. So dog noses in particular are something that I want to improve on, and ears. So once you have, I think eyes are really fun because there's a lot of colours going on, and in terms of shape they are, I think, more straightforward to follow because you've got the circle. Once you've got the circle down, like, it's one of the hardest bits done. But then you can move on to other body parts when you feel comfortable, and then gradually move on to a full portrait. So then, as you can see, once I'm happy with the actual eyeball piece of the eye, I then start branching out a bit further, and as I said earlier in the video, you can branch out even further than I do in the end if you want to. You can just keep going. I think if I had more time today, I definitely would have done. Sometimes you just get into a zone, you get into the swing of things, and you just want to keep going. I am actually going to take this piece out of this sketchbook and pop it into my art journal, make some notes alongside it. I'd also love to, James actually saw this when I finished it and he said, oh my god, wouldn't it be awesome if you filled the page full of eyes? And I think that's a really good idea, so we can definitely do more eyes in the future, and potentially even pick animals that have got really bizarre looking eyes, like maybe some insects would be cool, but also, you know, those, what are they called, gibbons? Are they gibbons when they got really big staring eyes? So we can explore lots of different colours. If you'd like help with blending or would like some more of an insight into the tools and things that could help you, I'm more than happy to do that as well. I have to say as well, I have been exploring white pencils, and you all know that I love a Prismacolor, but they're really difficult to get hold of in the UK, so I'm actually saving up my pennies so that I can buy the full set, because the Prismacolor set that I have, I think it's a set of 36, and I would really love to expand my collection. They're one of my favourite brands of pencil. They can just be really pricey, and it's the same with the Caran d'Ache. The Caran d'Ache White is the primary white pencil that I used in this one. I did accidentally pick up the polychroma at various points, but once you've experimented with a few white pencils, I think you'll find a favourite. You'll find one that's really comfortable for you and works for what you're trying to achieve. The Caran d'Ache one is amazing. I got it from Jackson's last week, and I've already used it quite a lot for a pet portrait, so you know what I'm like with white pencils, they disappear before my eyes way quicker than I'm happy with. I think it was about £3 though for just one pencil, so they are quite pricey. And then I had a look at the full set and about fell off my chair, so they are expensive as well. So if you can, you know, experiment with buying singular pencils until you find the right one for you, that is something that I would definitely recommend, because art supplies prices in general can be super intimidating and just make you think, oh, why bother? And then you might even get into that space of, well, I paid a lot of money for these and I'm not that confident with using them yet, so I don't want to use them at all. And then before you know it, I know this happens to all of us, but before you know it, they have been sat in your cupboard and they've never been used. And art supplies are there to be used. You all know as well how much I love the Arteza set, and I think they are a really good affordable quality as well. For the money that you pay for them, the quality is decent. So if you are a bit scared about which ones to go for, their prices are really good, especially if you're just starting out with your pencil work and you want to get into pencils and just get a feel for them. They're a good all-rounder, especially for beginners, because you just can't beat the price. But you don't have to go in there straight away with the polychromos or the Prismacolors, the ones that are a little bit more on the pricey end. I actually didn't start using those until literally the past 2 years, and I've been using pencils for a very long time. I used a lot of like the student sets, which are a lot cheaper. And if you do start with the less expensive ones, I do truly think that you then grow to appreciate the more expensive brands, because if you go straight in with them, obviously they're lovely, but there's nothing quite like appreciating a higher quality pencil or art supply if you have already, you know, gone through years and years of practice with the ones that aren't so great. But if you're just trying out, please don't feel the pressure to buy the expensive ones, because the last thing you want to do is spend all of your hard-earned money on a art supply that you are too frightened to use, and you don't want to spoil it or ruin it, or you feel like you're not worthy of using them. You are, and they're there to be used, so have fun. Anyway, I'm going to bounce now, but I hope you enjoyed this first tutorial style video. Please let me know what you thought to it, and if there's anything else you'd like to see from this kind of format. If there's any other animal body parts that you might like to see drawn, I can absolutely do that. And yeah, it was fun. It was great hanging out with you again, and I will speak to you soon.